This is tough because the Yankees are two different ball clubs. At home, more wins than any team, and on the road, they're a different team. Do they bring, because they got the pitching in Houston in games 1 and 2, but do they bring their bats on the charter flight? That's the big question. I believe they will. I believe they win 4 in a row, finish it off tonight.
Houston is a snake-bitten sports city. And to answer your question, I do not know who's going to win this game. I know that's a bad job by me. I'm just trying to be honest. I don't know who's going to win this game, but I do know this.
You've had a chance to think about it since 4 this morning.
I know, and I've been tortured about it. So this is the closest I can come to a prediction.
Okay.
If the Yankees score first, that stadium is going to be terrified and deathly quiet, and it will not feel like a home game for the Astros. Houston has too many instances of their teams, whether it be basketball, baseball, football, letting them down in playoff situations at home. If the Yankees get off to just a 1-0 lead, you're going to feel the tension.
Nick, what's your IQ? Because people have been asking about IQ around the country. What's your IQ?
He's never going to.
What's your IQ?
High.
It's high.
Yeah.
Very high.
So with that high IQ, you said they got to get off to a fast start.
You know what, CC? Sometimes sports are simple. Sometimes sports are simple.
You got your heart in Houston, though.
What? I'm a Royals fan. I'm a Royals fan, and
but
I got
you
my
lived
heart
in Houston.
with Fox. I think it's probably better for us if it's Dodgers Yankees. I'm simply saying I think it's tough to predict that Justin Verlander is going to pitch poorly, but it's also tough to predict that the Yankees are going to end the streak. I don't have a pick, CC. For once in my life, I don't have a pick.
If Verlander does a fraction of what he did last time out on the mound, there's no doubt Houston wins this game. And Luis Severino, of everyone in that Yankees starting lineup, he's the one I have the least confidence in, even though he's coming off a great game. The one before that was not so, or 2 before that was really, really shaky.
Only got through a third of an inning.
Third of an inning. If there's any starter that I just have a tiny bit of hesitation with, it would be Severino going into this game.
JV in his game, the last start was, amazing. Absolutely amazing. And when you have command, You're sitting 96, 97.
Yep.
You're rolling it up to 99 occasionally. And you got command of 4, total command of 4 pitches. You're unhittable. Can he repeat that performance? Probably not. But can he get you through 7? Can he get you through 7 1/3? There's no question in my mind he can get you through 7 1/3, 1-run baseball. It's anybody's ball game. I like Houston to win this game tonight. And to go to, Game 7?
At home, yeah. First team to score wins. There you go.
Wouldn't be dramatic at all. Moving on to the Dallas Cowboys. They're 2-3 on the season, but have 3 huge reasons to be optimistic for the weekend. First, Ezekiel Elliott's suspension was pushed back again, so he'll be on the field. Second, they face the 49ers, the NFC's only winless team. And third, their quarterback, Dak Prescott, doesn't seem too concerned.
There's definitely no panic. We're getting better. We're heading in the direction that we want to. We just got to turn some of these close losses into wins, and we'll be right where we need to be.
Mark, how much pressure is on the Dallas Cowboys to win this game?
Well, I think a ton of pressure is on them. Right now you've got the Eagles who seem to be running away with this. They have a matchup, don't they? Play the Skins this weekend.
Yep.
So there's a conference or a division matchup. Obviously, the Giants got to win. There's some confidence there right now. I know they've lost 5, but they got a big win on Sunday night against the Broncos. So, you're looking at your season right now saying, guys, this is the time where we have gotten this quarter of the season. We've got to string some wins together to get us in a position to chase at least the division crown, but at the very least, the wild card. So I think there's a ton of pressure on the Cowboys. And, that's the thing I love about football. There's pressure on everybody. You don't win and you lose jobs. That's how it works.
And also, they didn't expect after 5 games they'd be 2-3. I think the pressure becomes more real because we talk about distractions. We talk about things surrounding the team. Zeke getting suspended is real to the whole roster now. You know the reason why? Because he was partially suspended this week where he couldn't be at the facility.
Right.
And then the ruling got overturned, and so he was able to be at the facility. So the other players know that, in a week or 2 weeks, he might be gone. They have to get to 3-3. They have to get to 3-3, and then they have to try to, if he starts a suspension, they have to go 3-3 there. And hope that those last few games that they can hit a hot streak and get in the playoffs. So it's a bunch of pressure, and that pressure is real.
Just like Oakland's season was on the line last night, Dallas's season is on the line Sunday afternoon. It is a must-win game, so that's how much pressure's on them. You can't fall to 2-4. You certainly can't fall to 2-4 before Zeke's suspension comes in, and you definitely can't fall to 2-4 by losing to San Francisco.
Right. I don't think the pressure is as much on Dallas as Oakland, because Oakland was playing a team that was playing great, that had dominated them for several years. Now, listen, the Cowboys are not playing San Francisco when Cap was on there, all right? This is not a good football team, so they don't have to play a great game to win that game. Compared to the Raiders in that offensive line, they had to take that game last night.
I agree with you. They don't have to. The degree of difficulty is not nearly as high. They don't have to execute nearly as well. But as far as the pressure on walking out of the stadium with the win is the same.
Yes.
Because the season-ending loss in Week 7, if they don't walk out of the stadium with the win, the point you made about the Monday Night Football game, and I know the players aren't thinking about this, but if you're thinking about the Cowboys for the season, it's such an important one, because since Washington is playing Philly, let's just, assuming the game's not a tie, if Washington wins that game, then Dallas knows, wait, we're going to be one game back in the loss column. The leaders in the division are going to have 2 losses, we're going to have 3. If Philly wins that game, Dallas will say, oh, we're all of a sudden going to be in second place in the division. So because those 2 teams are playing each other, and the guys ahead of them, one of them's definitely taking a loss, there is something kind of an extra bonus for them, assuming they.
It's like a half a game.
Exactly right. Exactly right.
It is, and this is one of those situations in the NFL where you look at yourself realistically and say, this is a game where we're right back in the thick of things, or this is a game where we put ourselves in a really difficult position. And everybody in the locker room knows that. The coaches talk about that. You get kind of where you're at.
So the reason I think there's so much more pressure on the Cowboys is because of the way they've won their last games. If you look over the last 5 weeks, none of these games were easy, comfortable wins for me. Week 2, they lost by 3. Week 3, they lost by 2. Week 4, it was 3 points. Week 5, it was 3 points. It was 2 points. It was 13 points was the difference in the last couple weeks. No game feels really big and comfortable, and I just worry that without that confidence of knowing they can go in and score points like they were doing last year, the pressure's on them to go in and do
that's the NFL. I mean, all the games for the most part are very tight, and that's the balance of power. Which team can win those 4 or 5 games that were close? The ball bounced, maybe didn't bounce their way, but they still were able to win. So Dallas, they know that pressure is real. But what you're saying, what about playing well? Because there's style points. And you have a lot more confidence in a win if you look really, really good.
Especially when you're playing this team. Dallas is not going to feel great. They'll feel like their season's still alive. But if this game's 27-24 and they squeeze out a win with a field goal from Dan Bailey at the horn, like, yeah, okay, our season's still alive, but we still have real problems. You are playing the worst team in the NFC.
Yes.
A team that has not won a game. This is a game Dallas should, if they're anything close to what they were last year, they should win by 2 scores.
You saw the way the Raiders came out last night. I mean, you knew.
You called that one, though.
You knew they were coming out, right? And like you said, this is an offensive line. We'll put it on you. This was considered by many the best offensive line in football, the Dallas Cowboys, last year. They have not performed. They know that they may be without their star running back who averaged over 5 yards a carry. What did he have,
1,100 yards on first down.
On first down last year. This is one where we look at ourselves in the mirror and say, guys, this one's on us. And we have to dominate the LOS. We've got to crush the Niners, and we've got to get our running backs going, and we've got to possess the ball. We've got to own the time of possession. And if we do that, we'll get ourselves back on track.
Another thing, watch. San Francisco starting linebacker last week, Navarro Bowman. He started last night for the Raiders. They cut him last week because San Francisco realizes they're going to cut some salary. They're going with younger players, so you'll see Reuben Foster from Alabama playing in the middle there. So that's something to watch.
All right, Mark, stick around. Coming up, we're going to get to the bottom of what really happened with Marshawn Lynch. That's next on First Things First.
Listen to the song now.